So, welcome to the round 2 of the Warlord spoilers for 2017 Warlord Academy, which is releasing around Gen Con, as far as I know.
It's going to be awesome.
There will be copies at Gen Con, I'm assured. There will be copies at Gen Con, but I don't know how soon after that everyone will get it at street release.
Eventually.
Let's do some quick intros.
Yeah,
No shade.
You have to do the hand thing?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Shark bait.
Puddinhead.
Oh, you didn't do the hand thing.
What's the hand thing?
You did the hand thing.
I can't see you doing the hand things because both of your cameras are out on my Skype.
That's weird.
Yeah, and so I'm on stream.
Shark didn't introduce himself.
I did.
Oh, he
Wait, no,
did.
listen, bro.
He did the hand
Okay.
thing too.
And I'm Ash, aka Matt.
Matt. For
Yeah.
anyone who didn't know, Matt worked on these expansions. He was
These
like
are
the designer and stuff.
These are his.
So if you hate it, it's my fault. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll all know your face.
They can come punch you in the gut at Gen Con. Right?
Okay, so we're gonna start this off with the Warlord reveal. Obviously, we all know this because it's from the last one. So why don't we skip right to the first card here? It is going to be Sweeping Strike.
Woo!
This is, dude, the art's the best part of this card. Come on now.
Oh, dude, this art is fantastic. Like, look at that face.
Yeah, everything else is detailed, but
Can I actually zoom in? I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, that face is
I'm gonna
awesome.
bring it up on like the screen.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Why don't we let Ash talk about this card first? Because
So Sweeping Strike. I'm pulling it up just so I don't misspeak here.
It did go through several changes.
that's fine.
It
you know
did.
What? While you're pulling up, why don't I talk about it then?
Sure.
So I mean, this is very similar to how Battle Fury works in a lot of ways,
Yes.
except it's a mana cheaper.
Ooh, it is.
So instead of course, you have to use it as a sweeping instead of being able to hit the same target or a different target. I think.
So-
different targets, that makes it cheaper, I think, right?
Yeah, forcing the target selection makes it cheaper. And also, since it was an Academy card, I obviously wanted to make it cheaper because the mana supply is much lower in Academy. And also, if it's on a minor creature, it's even one cheaper than that, only 3 to give a minor creature sweeping. Which may not be super valuable sometimes, but I can see some cards later in this, or a card later in this, that I would definitely put it on. I mean, obviously things like Timberwolf. 4 die sweeping for
yeah.
three mana is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
I mean, Orc Butcher
actually, it's quite a
alone.
bit. How cheap
I mean,
is.
it also allows you to get that extra mileage out of your Goblin Grunt, you know? I mean, it's just...
3 mana
Yeah.
for a 3 die attack spell. It's
Yeah.
not bad. You know?
And it's obviously, this card is about efficiency, but it's more limited than Battle Fury in that if you're in the same zone or you want to double tap the mage, this isn't going to be the pick. You're going to pick Battle Fury.
Right.
But in Academy, where you're almost always going to have multiple targets you can engage, this obviously is a very nice card.
I feel like Gurmash wouldn't mind casting this either.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
I mean, you can have Gurmash cast it.
casting like an Iron Golem or something. Whatever.
But yeah, in Academy, there's a lot of... I could see people taking this out of school, honestly. I mean, a wizard with a Satyr Gruff, or
Yeah.
Warlock with a Hellstar, or you could get Mageddon twice.
Oh, Mageddon
With this
is a great
one?
choice with this.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I might even do a buffed Fire Fist Brawler if I want to land a couple burns or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you could get more mileage out of your Dissipate creatures with this. You would just hit twice with
Oh
them
yeah,
instead.
because the forest creatures are corporeal.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Wow. I didn't think that-
And good old Juicy can get some extra mileage out of this one, too.
saying.
Assuming he's already active, yeah.
Yeah, you got to make sure he's active. But that's
I'm a big fan of applying more conditions than you should be able to, so I'd always look for creatures that can apply conditions to use this with.
Sure,
Personally.
like the asp.
Demon Shard in Arena.
All right, so the main focus of this spoiler sequence is a lot of the cards that are useful to more than just the Warlord. I mean, obviously they're really useful to the Warlord, but more than just the Warlord in Academy especially and in Arena as well are going to make use out of these cards. So, given that, we can go to the next card. It is...
Stalagmites!
Alright, we got Stalagmite here. It is an attack spell, but the Warlord is not trained in it. In fact, nobody in Academy isn't trained in it right now.
Yet.
Yeah.
Right? This card is so sweet.
3 dice, piercing 3. Okay, nice armor.
For 3 mana, too. Like,
It's a
Holy
nice.
cow.
It's among my favorite finishers in Academy because
Yeah.
it's right up there with the Warlock incantation that I can't think of the name of that drains life.
Oh, Siphon Life?
Siphon Life, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
This is basically a cheaper version of that, actually.
You don't get the heal, but
so,
Yeah.
like,
You just apply
You know my Priestess Academy book, Justin,
yeah,
that we played when
one's
we
awesome.
did the Force Master spoiler?
yeah.
I replaced one of the attack spells with this.
That makes
that-
a lot of sense. I mean, like, you go
in
into
that one.
Mageddon, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
piercing 3.
exactly.
You know?
Piercing 3, it does direct damage to Mageddon.
So, I mean, like, comparing to, like, a Hurl Rock, you're talking about a mana cheaper. It, granted, this attack's non-flying, but, I mean, you're basically sacrificing 1 die for piercing 3, so you kind of more guarantee those 3 dice are going to do
Isn't
damage.
it
you
2
are
dice?
sacrificing. No, yeah, you are sacrificing 2 dice.
Or 2
Yeah,
dice,
because
yes.
Horok is
But
5.
It's
Piercing 2 is mathematically equivalent to 1 die if they have at least 2 armor, approximately in the equations we use when making cards.
Yeah.
So this is approximately a 4.5 die attack against something with 3 or more armor.
Yeah, and it's the restrictions of, like, non-flying and stuff like that.
The non-flying, yeah, that is a restriction.
Yeah, it's got limitations, but it's really nice
Oh.
spell.
If you'll notice, it's not a huge downgrade from Arena, but a lot of the ranged attack spells, or the attack spells and some of the ranged attacks, and definitely zone attacks, are scaled down a little bit in Academy for the mana cost, because everything's always going to be in range of those things, which is the downside in Arena.
I see.
So they're mathematically slightly inferior. That doesn't mean they never get used. I use a lot of Academy attack spells in my Arena books for certain situations. I really like to step back a little bit. I like Piercing Thunderstrike a lot in my Wizard, just because of the piercing on an attack spell, which up until this point it was the only one that had that.
Yeah.
For the Wizard, we have the Devil's Trident, I believe, has piercing, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but there aren't too many of them otherwise.
No, definitely
yeah,
not.
and now this. So
True, and this one's super cheap compared to. I mean, it's the same spellbook points and less mana.
No, I think this is actually a really
But it's
awesome
still
card.
pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
if you're just looking for the piercing, it's really good.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of typing, and
Sorry, that's me.
It's all good.
Scott.
No, like I think the piercing 3 is going to make a big difference if you want to like take out the conjurations and stuff. And I mean, in Arena, you can combo it with like Hawkeye, the Hill, just things like that.
Yep. Hawkeye and the Hill make this really, really efficient, and especially if you get the, you could put this on a Mage Wand with a Dwarf rune.
Oh yeah, the
Elemental Wand.
yeah.
Elemental Wand. Sorry,
Jeez, 2 mana to cast this spell.
two mana for a 5 damage spell.
Casual dealing tons of damage.
Pierce
Oh,
3
here, have a spike.
And it's in school.
Here, have a spike.
Yep.
Yeah.
costs more mana to switch the spell than it does to cast this one.
All right. Anyways.
So yeah, that's the attack spell coming in the Warlord Academy set, and we only showed you guys 1 creature last week, but there are a plethora of creatures in this book because it's a Warlord. You need creatures, so we're going to go into a few creatures this time. All of these creatures are going to be dual school, which means that multiple mages will be trained in them, and they are pretty awesome. What's
I'm
first,
gonna
Justin?
May I speak to the dual school movement here real quick?
Sure.
So design reasons for doing a lot of dual school level 2-ish creatures in Academy, or level 1s where they're one or school or one other school, was in Academy the sets are smaller, so we don't have the room to put in a lot of out of school spells like we do in arena sets. So this gives gives me the ability to give the players options without having to bloat the set with cards that you wouldn't use for the mage itself that comes with that set.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That makes a ton of sense. Because it's like you're giving other mages some cards still, but you're really saying you're buying this pack and it's like for this mage.
I really
dig that
dislike
a lot.
I really dislike an Academy the idea of here's a starter pack for Warlord, but he doesn't have enough in school creatures
Yeah.
in this
It's
set
a-
to flesh it out. So I didn't want to do that and be able to give Holy and Nature and whatever else I gave in this set creatures. So
Yeah.
there's
Right.
that.
I actually really like this Warlord set a ton.
Yeah, one of the criticisms of Force Master was that not very many of those cards are useful to other people, but some of them are extremely useful, so I thought that was kind of a wash.
And
We'll call it a wash.
Oh, I know I wasn't here for the Force Master reveals, but I realized that was an issue, and just to anybody who is upset about that, a big part of why I had to do that was those creatures would be bad to allow other mages to have for balance.
No,
But
absolutely.
they're very, very, especially very good for the Force Master in both Academy and Arena because it gives you a slightly different playstyle for a mage that has kind of been stuck in a singular playstyle for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's really
But-
what people have wanted out of the Force
Yeah, it's
Master.
a good expansion.
Yeah, Force Master has always been kind of her own insular
Like,
thing.
even with that expansion, she's still super unique, even though now she has
Right.
like more creatures and stuff like that. Like she
More
still
options.
plays so different.
It's really just more options, I think.
Yeah, which is nice. And, Warlord has always had the soldier thing going for him. And soldiers are both holy and dark as well. So it makes perfect sense to stick more alternate creatures in here. So
And in a set we're working on right now that's unannounced, and I won't announce it, there will be a handful of soldiers in the Dark School in that set. Not many, but a couple probably.
Ooh,
And then
that
that's-
is a
there's
that
a
is
reveal.
that is a mean little spoiler there.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right,
I'm
let's
not gonna-
move on to this creature. Oh,
Just
you
trying to
already
build
got it there. So Royal
Uh,
Armor is already a promo, right? So people have
Yes.
gotten their hands on this before.
Well,
It was a very limited promo. I believe this one was released through Tom Vassel's Kickstarter for, they do an
Oh, okay.
annual Kickstarter for
Right.
Dice Tower
Yeah.
to help fund them. And I believe this was one of, I think we did 8 cards a year for that. And this was one of the 8 cards in that pack for
Sure.
the 2016 Kickstarter.
I gotta
believe.
say, when this card was released as a promo, we put it on Octagon, and which, by the way, anyone that's listening, if you want to play Mage Wars online, check out Octagon. There's such a cool community there. This card just made me really happy because I was putting it in
was
my
so happy when you got
Necromancer,
that.
being like, my skeletons are getting armor. I was putting in Holy Mages, obviously, and the Warlord, but man, there's just so many options with this card, and to see this actually released makes me just happy.
There are so many angels out there with low armor too. Great
Right.
priest
Yeah, that's-
spawn point builds.
That's what I
Or
was thinking. with this one.
paladin even.
That is definitely one of the
Also,
criticisms.
yeah, I've seen an armor. Justin, you ran the armor in Paladin at least a bunch. of
Yes.
times.
No, I mean, as a level 1 creature, I mean, it has 1 armor, 6 health for 5 mana, and that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
That's cleric levels efficient.
it just doesn't really die in a lot of times, and yeah, exactly. You basically have more options, and it's a soldier, so you have more options there. It's pretty nice.
So, which creature did you spoil last time? Because I don't want to speak and spoil something.
Elven Soldier.
Okay, there's one creature that hasn't been spoiled. We're not spoiling today. That this is very good with in this set.
Oh yes.
Come back next week.
Come back next week,
Maybe not next week. We'll see.
whenever the next
1
one
week.
is. Buy the set.
Yeah, right.
Just honestly, this set is really awesome. If you like nature, holy, or war mages, this set is awesome for you.
I was far more excited for this set than I was Force Master. No offense to Force
Yeah,
Master.
that's because you're a jerk.
I know. That's
Well, I mean, like, cards like Royal Armor is exactly why it's, in my opinion, Warlord's going to be such a fantastic set.
And I think you're absolutely right. This gives necromancers who play skeletons a lot of bonus survivability.
Oh, dude, those minions just don't die. Like, the skeletal minions have crazy life as it is, and to give them an armor and then combo with armory or something like that, it's nuts. I'm actually really curious to see what kind of builds come out of this in the meta of Mage Wars.
yeah,
Can you imagine
pinpoint
all
that
the armor?
so
much armor.
So to note, like in Academy, the Priestess with the White Cloak Knight is a really good choice with this. Just because he tends to have low armor and getting 2 armor makes him insane, and then this guy's a blocker.
No, there's nothing preventing him from giving that armor to himself.
Yes. And
Oh, yeah.
him going up to 2 armors, also crazy. So basically
Yeah.
6 mana for that. Ah!
If you've got nothing better to do,
Yeah.
you might as well let him do that.
And it's a quick action, so in arena you can move and do it.
Yeah, that's really nice as well.
He's
I can
hammering on
see like
somebody and
bridge,
just walk away.
bridge troll strategies with this guy. So cool.
Yep.
All right.
Although I'm interested in pairing this guy with promote on some of those level 2 soldiers. Because
like Orc
you
Butcher?
just Yep.
Have you already spoiled promotion?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We already spoiled promotion.
Yeah. And
If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch the other video.
No, I mean like Orc Butcher going up to 3 armor and what would it be 6 melee, or is it no? It's 5 melee.
5.
Is insane. Like it's so.
If he got a veteran token, he'd be at 4 armor and 6 melee.
Yeah, like you verse like a swarm and suddenly there's your strategy.
Hey, you know that's my favorite thing to do with the Warlord, right?
Well, if the swarm works.
Orc.
You're gonna have to
Was
work
it-
in a royal armor there, buddy.
I think it was.
I can do that eventually.
I think it was Koshe during testing for this combo to a lot of these plus armor effects with what was the healing spell?
Oh
Man.
yeah, the wave.
No, the zone.
Oh, circle of protection.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one.
yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's so annoying. It's so much fun though. Okay, so
I
what you
hated
do-
myself. It was so annoying.
So what you do is you get like White Cloak Knights or something soldiery that we're gonna reveal maybe today, and then you go like circle protection, so everything gets more armor, and then suddenly they're like, I don't know how to deal with this. That's pretty much it. You just have a lot of armor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Much armor. So that's royal armor. It's the only promo in the set, right?
I think so. But I've forgotten a lot. So
Yeah, I forgot to. That's all right. We got more creatures coming.
I'm skimming it right now. I'm making sure.
it might be the only promo.
I'm gonna move on.
Let's
No
move
one
it.
objects. Yeah.
Nope.
Go for
Well, there are promos in here that I don't know that we ever released that were originally intended as promos that probably haven't been spoiled. Have you spoiled equipment yet?
We
No.
not.
That's next week.
On purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be
So
a fun week.
that's fine. A couple of those were printed as promos for Arena. I don't know that we ever distributed them. And now they're in this set because I felt they were a good fit for Academy.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool.
Alright, so I already put up the new card.
I like the new card. This card's cool.
So this is like the first of the dual schools that we haven't seen besides Royal Armor, obviously. And the Kelsar Ranger is such a cool level 1. Like, I actually haven't really tested this with a Beastmaster or Druid. But, I mean, the thing to note, of course, is it's a quick range attack on this
Yep.
creature.
Yep.
Run away, shoot. Run away, shoot.
This is a theme you will see in this set with other cards that we're not spoiling today, with Wood Elves having short range, quick ranged attacks.
Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Sure, but-
I'm a fan.
Yeah. So the quick range attack is really cool. The special ability is also allows for a whole lot of strategic, tactical movement and planning.
It's kind of
Like-
really good in Academy because you're going to have the guard likely in the same zone.
Yeah. No, the ability is much better in
Absolutely.
Academy.
You're kind of, if you don't want them to have the piercing, you guard. You're going to have to pressure them to attack that guard with their next action. Otherwise, you're going to get this piercing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh,
Use those
dude.
into a bad situation.
This guy with Temple Sentry, so much fun because it's
Oh, that's a
like
good idea.
you get that guard immediately, and the way that I've been kind of treating range is it's just kind of like having elusive, and you just kind of like plink at whatever you need to die.
Yep. I mean, speaking of things that really help the Warlord's strategy, there's a ton of Academy creatures that have 1 or 2 armor, right? And just having a guard in the way that's tough will make it so that you can just focus fire all the enemy creatures down. Like White Cloak Knight, he'll die. A couple of Kelsar Rangers will kill it.
That's a great choice.
The armor is not going to do anything.
Ironically, Royal Armor really helps in this case.
Yeah, well, that's kind
Royal
of
armor
the
helps
thing
everyone.
with these sets, right? Is they always come with the thing that will hurt them. Like Warlock came with Extinguish, and Force Master came with Siphon Energy.
And to note, with the way Pest works in Academy, and there's a large amount of viable Pest strategies in Academy, you can choose to not let them knock your guard off and then plink off a Pest.
Yeah,
That's true.
Oh, that's so nice.
you'll need a real attacker and not just a pest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, basic Kelsar Ranger.
Yeah,
Level 1.
One of the things that Nature School really has trouble with is actually range attacks. I mean, you have things like the Raptor, and
dude, that Raptor's awesome. Don't you?
hey,
don't you
the Raptor rocks. Don't get me wrong, but like this is like a level 1, level 1 Raptor. No, it's a level 1 range dude now, and I really want to see what happens. Like if we're gonna see this in Academy, the Beastmaster use it, or even in Arena, if we're gonna see like a Druid bring it out.
Could be interesting. The hard casting may be a little tough, but
Yeah, they're going to have to hardcast all of it, though.
Exactly.
That's the trick.
it could be done. I think it'd be interesting to see actually.
It would be really good paired with the quick summoning, right? I mean, if you can lay down a flower or 2, then you can do Kelsar Ranger Falcon, Kelsar Ranger Falcon.
I mean, the way that I kind of see it is like if you have a Timberwolf or 2, they might just be really preoccupied with that, and then these guys sort of come in and like just sort of like chase down whatever's trying to get away or anything like that.
That's a good point.
They play cleanup. Yeah.
Exactly.
So about that needing a heavy attacker, can we do my favorite now?
Well,
Right.
and the other thing is, all you need is a guarding creature. So your mage can guard these guys.
Yeah.
If you need
Absolutely. I could see, what was it Noble Vanguard? I think.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh, that would be
a good
awesome.
choice with this guy because you always have a guard, you're always doing things, and then you have the quick attack, range support.
to. Oh, I've got a new idea. These guys are always in the same zone as Togura.
Togura, he's like shoot,
They just swing-
shoot from the
they-
skies. My
Yeah, they swing
my
through the
elves.
trees.
You.
Awesome. I love Togura.
All right. Shark really wants to do this next one,
Yep.
Let's do
so
it.
we better do it.
We got it up now.
Torgo.
Torgo. I love this guy.
So this
Dude,
is
I-
an awesome pitch roll. I'm gonna let Shark do most of the talking.
Yeah, I remember abusing him in testing. I just smashed Justin's face one time for 10 damage. Just rolled back. It was
One
great.
time.
Yeah, one time.
No, that's an
Oh,
understatement.
Well, the one time I rolled all 2s was great, but in general,
yes, that was. Just
I actually like this guy a
Torgo's
little bit more
match.
than the regular bridge troll. First of all, he doesn't hide under a bridge. He doesn't need to hide because he has armor. And the tough -2 is actually surprisingly good because, as we spoke about earlier in Academy, there's a lot of things that actually give out conditions. So
Yeah, he doesn't have the flame plus either.
yeah, and like the snakes, everybody like at least
Oh,
Justin loves to run the asp, and so tough -2 is huge when you're trying to swing a big dude with 5 dice and possibly more if you buff him.
And also the fact that he's level 3 makes him immune to the worst part of stagger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
It's true.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit tough to fit into a book. 4 points is
It's
10%
1/10.
Academy,
Yeah.
but he definitely gets some work in.
Bridge Troll is 2 nature, 1 war, right?
I think so.
I have to say, I do think it was a good choice turning him into a legendary, because initially he wasn't. And you would just play 2 of these guys as fast as possible.
I know I did.
I mean, dealing with like an opening of a Torgo is like super aggressive, but like that regenerate 2 and the tough -2, like someone like a Warlock, they really struggle to beat Torgo in a lot of ways, just because I've noticed he just absorbs a lot, and then whatever he doesn't, he just shrugs it off, and then you kind of like galvanize or mend or something, and usually Torgo just keeps going.
Galvanize is one of my favorite spells to cast on him.
Yeah, galvanize freaking rocks.
Like, okay, if you do get something on him like a week, okay, well, I'm gonna give him a melee +1 and remove it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
let's not forget that we have spoiled Press the Attack, which gives him rerolls.
That's true too. Yeah,
Goodness, press the attack.
yeah, that may have helped in that.
I would
match.
point out that he is an excellent target to put Theft of Life on if you're running that, because
that's true.
he's almost always going to have damage, and he's regenerating 2. So
That's absolutely true.
Yep. And he's a good guard for the ranged dudes that we were just talking about.
Yep.
I mean, Royal
true.
Armor, he can bring him up to 2 armor.
That's true.
That's
And the big drawback for him, obviously, though, is the whole, if you're going to cast him early, you don't have a lot else you can do.
And there are some other opening strategies that are really rough for him. Like, in my opinion, he's not very good against the Mageddon opening.
No, he's not.
Yeah, surprisingly not good.
Well, I know in testing there were a couple games I played against Shark where I killed him before he got to do anything.
Yep. Yep.
Mageddon's just crazy like that. Yeah, and I think it's just because of the life and the armor difference that makes it such a big thing.
He's got his counters, but if they don't have the counters, or if you can somehow take care of them, I think he's a better mid-game play anyway.
I mean, like if they're going Disciple of Radiance or something like that, and you do Sweeping Strike on him, you just kind of like kill everything.
Or go Smash.
Yeah.
Plus, look at that art. That art's awesome.
He's like, I put on a stomach plate. I don't even know what to call that.
I don't know, he's got giant too, with spikes on him this time.
It's like he took someone's armor that he smashed and is like, I'll just wear it.
I really wanted him to have a dragon scale hauberk on him to explain the lack of flame plus.
Nice.
But that didn't happen.
It's in our
You can do
hearts.
your own custom art.
Yeah. And he's a war troll, you know.
Yeah.
He's been burned a lot. So, I got a quick question. So, I noticed that Pit Fighter is one of the subtypes. I was wondering if you could talk about that.
So, there are 2 things here, and these are unofficial spoilers of things that may or may not ever come to pass. This is more of a future-proofing thing.
Oh, yeah.
Initially, with this Warlord, he is from Ivarium, which is based on ancient Rome. They have pit fighting in a Colosseum. There were some cards that unfortunately got cut from this set that had this subtype as well. There were more cards. I believe 2 made it through. Without looking through, I think there are 2 in here. Let me look real quick. Maybe he's the only one. He's the only one that made it through. But
he's the winner of the pit fighting.
There were I think 2 or 3 other cards that at one point had pit fighter as part of their subtype. Because originally he was going to be trained in pit fighter subtype creatures as well, so we could give him out of school stuff. That this is somebody from some other land they've captured into slavery and is fighting in the pits, and Ivarium can use to their advantage because they're indentured to them. So he will be trained in them because of where he's from.
Oh.
That theme kind of fell to the wayside as we trimmed the set down. But I can tell you that pit fighting is something that we have tentatively talked about for a future arena mage.
Ooh.
The gladiator.
A gladiator mage.
Who's a master of weaponry and very, very melee oriented, fighting a lot himself with a couple big buddies who are also pit fighters, would be the idea.
Chariots.
I don't know if that will ever come to pass. We have, I swear, 25 plus mages we've talked about doing that are just in a folder of ideas. So that may never happen, but that pit fighter subtype is still there for if and when we do make that mage, he will automatically be synergizing with that mage.
Well, that's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I would love to see a gladiator mage someday.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Just saying.
Well, fine.
Yeah, that's
all right. Okay.
I would say honestly, out of all the mages we talk about, that's in the lower half of priorities. We have a bunch more that would be priority before that.
Yeah.
As you well know, that we're not officially spoiling. We're working on 4 new Academy mages for next year to be released, and it is not one of those. So,
Yeah.
no time soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
So that's Torgo. I mean, the comparisons to Bridge Troll are obvious, and you can just mix in there with them. You know, and just if you run more than one Bridge Troll, you can replace them with this. It's a great option versus a Fire Mage, because you don't have the weakness the Bridge Troll does.
I think it's well against a smaller swarm too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The armor helps, and regen 2 isn't much of a drop off.
Oh, absolutely.
He does have
Regen.
significantly less life, unfortunately.
He does. It's true. But he's cheaper.
How much cheaper is he? How much is Bridge Troll? 15?
13.
13. Okay.
So he's only 1 mana cheaper.
He's cheaper in spellbook points for most warlords, though.
He's like 3 life lower.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Is the Bridge Troll 2 nature 1 war?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's what 13 life. Is that right?
16.
Oh, it's 16.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
But no armor,
yeah.
and he has the Flame Plus.
Yeah.
Flame plus 2, right?
Something like that.
No,
He might even be plus 3.
it might
I'm
be.
trying.
I don't
I'm trying.
remember.
I'm trying to pull him up
I
so I
want to
can
say it's
reference.
2, but I don't know.
I think it's 2. It's a regenerate 3.
I mean, in
Yeah.
Academy,
I don't know.
In Academy, I would also consider, by the way, Gator toughnessing this pitch roll, just for the extra life and the
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
Like it's just an all-around good choice.
Gator's great in general in almost every book, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was running him with that and Wolf Fury at one point, which is a very
Wolf. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
6
Dice
dice
one.
piercing.
and then the soldier buffs on top of that.
Yeah, because your mage can just do the command spell and just suddenly has another one. Like, if I remember, a lot of our test games were like it had 7 dice, just pretty.
And
easily.
obviously, Royal Armorer can give him an extra armor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Are we good with Torgo?
I think we're good. That is Torgo.
Let's
The
consider
next
it
card
spoiled.
is actually my favorite creature in the set, I think.
Oh, I have a heart for this card. Isabella.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's a touch fast.
This card changed so many times in testing.
it's true.
This
You know, the
card is
first time
crazy
I
good.
saw this card in playtesting, I was like, so you guys are salvaging the animal targeting only on Badger Frenzy, aren't you?
So this creature started as a joke, and then became reality because
Oh,
on the card
yes.
Badger Frenzy, it only targets an animal creature, which wasn't an original part of that card. That was something that was added late in testing, and we'd already ordered the art for it, and it had this female elf creature with a spear in the artwork gaining Badger Frenzy. So we had art that didn't match anything it could target. So we said, well, I'm going to make this creature that counts as an animal, so that's obviously not one. So we came up with this whole backstory, and it's so goofy that, like Jungle Book, she was raised in the forest
Yes.
by badgers.
Badger.
So
She's a
can-
badger elf.
Yeah, so I actually had the subtype badger on her at one point in time,
Yes.
but
yes.
I took it off.
We edited the video that slash video of Badger.
yes.
Yeah.
Mushroom,
But, yeah.
mushroom.
The initial versions of her, she gained different buffs based on which school her mage was trained in, and then we ultimately changed it to her gaining the subtypes because she initially had all those subtypes all the time, and
Which was really, really strong.
it was because she could get both animal buffs and soldier buffs at that point.
Right.
And now she can only get either or depending on which mage is running her.
Unless sometime in the future there's a nature war mage, in which case she gets both.
Barbarian? What? Did somebody say something?
I didn't hear it.
What?
That I don't think that's ever going to happen. I'm
Just the
calling you out on it right now.
Just the
It's
downer.
never going to happen.
It is one of the few mages we have art for already. I'm just saying.
Don't be a downer, Puddin. We all want the barbarian.
No, it's not. Okay, this is reverse psychology, Justin.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. We're never getting
But
it.
if you tell me it's reverse psychology, does it actually work?
That's why I shouldn't have explained it.
Why did I question? Okay, so let's just break this down really quick. So
So the
compare it
reason
to-
she's in Warlord, right?
Yeah.
Obvious. She gets buffs from all the formations. He can buff her with his battle commands because he's trained in war. She gains soldier. Easy.
Yeah, so I mean, like, one of my favorite things to do is, I mean, she works in both Warlord and the Beastmaster Academy is what I've noticed. I mean, giving her Badger Frenzy as a Beastmaster, insanely good. Because you get an 8 dice piercing too.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's a Badger, so Badger Frenzy makes sense.
And there's half a dozen other animal buffs you can give her.
I mean, talking on the nature side specifically, yeah, you're right. I mean, Gator Toughness is good. Wolf Fury is, of course, really good. 5 dice piercing 3. But talking about it in Arena, we're talking about 9 mana, so Timberwolf. You lose a armor, and you're gaining 2 piercing.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty good.
If you,
I think she's an auto swap for any one Timberwolf out of your book if you have multiple, unless you're specifically using them for canine synergy.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what I would say.
Absolutely true. I mean, the Timberwolf, even guarding Isambila just so you can get that extra attack is really nice. Just in general, she's just really good for the nature school.
She's more aggressive. And Timberwolves can stay back and guard and stuff, but I mean, she is definitely more aggressive. You want her to do the stabbing.
Stab.
And I can't remember, I often, because I forget what I do afterwards, when I name creatures, I usually Google like a foreign language for that word.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe her name does mean badger.
I remember you saying that.
In some language. But I think I may have changed the spelling slightly because I don't like to actually take exact spellings of words. I did that with like Shifratar. A Shifra is a Fanax weapon. And we had Galvatar already, so I shoved those two things together and made Shifratar.
Nice.
Great success.
Man, we should add you for the spoilers for Force Master.
I will try to make myself available for all of these in the future.
It's all good. So, I don't know, who wants to talk about the war side? Because I think it's pretty cool, too, being a soldier.
There's some
soldier
buffs, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of synergy with that. A lot of synergy.
Royal armor, obviously.
I would also like to point out that because she gains the subtypes due to your mage's training, she is also able to be spawned out of those spawn points.
Yep.
So the lair can spawn in Zambila, and the barracks can spawn in Zambila.
My only future concern for this card is there's an effect we've talked about. It's an unnamed effect that allows you to play it on a card and essentially silence them, and that removes all of their text box.
Oh my.
So that would make her... She would already have had it when she was cast, but that's an oddity because there's not many other things that allow you to gain and lose a subtype other than Demon Hide Mask, I think, is the only other thing.
Yeah, and that's temporary, specific timing.
It's only during the attack, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see that being a weird thing.
But yeah, the soldier synergy is great. I mean, you get an efficient creature just like the Nature Crew school would have. I mean, she's an Orc Butcher for 1 more mana and Piercing 2. Like,
that's pretty dang good.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a comparison between the two. You get the Timberwolf and you get the Orc Butcher. Both are staples of each school.
Absolutely.
She's kind of right in between them in some ways.
I will note that using Torgo and then casting Isambila second, people tend to use all of their attack spells and stuff on Torgo, and then if you bring out Isambila, they're like,
crap.
That is one thing that the Warlord has to their advantage. They have a handful of really big creatures for Academy that they can keep pressing with.
Yeah.
It soak a lot of actions from your opponent.
Like, it kind of makes your command not as good because you're spending 3 mana regardless. But, you know, it's a different strategy altogether.
Well, that's why, if you'll recall in testing, the ability was a lot
different. Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
and it actually rewarded only running 1 or 2 creatures, which is why we changed it, because the Warlord is not supposed to only have
Yeah.
1 or 2 creatures thematically.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Shark broke that.
The heck,
He figured out Torgo was too good with the old Warlord. So
It was a good change. It made it,
Yeah.
it made it interesting still. I mean, because she still benefits. It's not exactly expensive, so.
right. So, does anybody have any more thoughts about what we've shared today?
These
Looks
cards
good to me.
rock.
I'm excited for the set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, sign me
Honestly,
up
if
for
the
like
set was
2
out
of these
early
guys.
enough, I'd have been running a Warlord at Gen Con.
I really wish we could just talk about all the cards, but I know that kind of defeats the purpose of spoilers.
We're
Yeah.
slowly eking them out.
I
Yeah,
know.
we will actually. Our plan is to have a full review of the set out before Gen Con hits. Very
Great.
soon before Gen Con hits, but
So,
right before Gen Con hits.
yes.
Yeah, so I mean, the plan right now is we're going to do one more spoiler, I want to say.
Yep. One
And-
more spoiler.
Is that going to be equipment heavy, I presume?
Yes.
It is going to. Yep. Now that you've seen a lot of the tools that the Warlord can use on his creatures, we're going to give you the tools that he's going to use on himself.
Boom.
Yeah, and they're awesome. Like, we haven't even gotten to the best part of the set yet.
Oh,
Anybody who
the
loves the
equipment is
arena
so sweet.
Warlord is going to want to tune in next time.
Oh my gosh. I
For
love that
sure.
card so much. And you don't know how many times that was on the
Yes.
chop block, too, and I had to fight for it.
Oh no, it is going to be awesome. Like, it's going to blow people's minds, man.
I don't even know which card you're talking about because there are several that are just awesome.
I know.
It's fair.
The helm.
No. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right.
He's got a
It's gonna be a good
fancy
time.
hat.
Fancy hats. All right. Well, I guess thank you everyone.
Do
for
we want to do
joining
any
us.
like questions from the peanut gallery here? Or
Do we have a
Yeah.
peanut gallery?
we have a
We have-
small peanut gallery.
If
Yeah,
anybody
other-
wants to yell at me, now's your opportunity
Other than Grizzly?
to rage on me.
How dare you screw up the Warlord? He was perfect the way it was. Everything is fine.
You play it. This is the best one we've done.
You've had your
Bad
opportunity to
on it.
rage on me, Coach Abe.
Ban all the cards.
Nah,
Oh,
I love
man.
this set.
I don't know. If you guys have any
Yeah,
questions,
it's gonna rock.
we're gonna have this video up, and if you guys want to talk about it, we are posting on the Arcane Wonders forum under the general section. Feel free to ask questions there. In the next spoiler, we can answer those. Otherwise, we don't have a date yet for the next spoiler, but my guess is next Thursday.
It'll be something like that.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Maybe we'll wait a week just to keep people stupid.
Bite those fingernails.
Next Thursday, we'll put up a sign that says next Thursday.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, and we'll post it on the forums ahead of time. And,
Hopefully, even sooner than we did this time.
yeah. Dude, Ash.
Right.
I appreciate you coming on here, man, and talking about the cards.
Yeah, I'll do my best to be on any of these that you want me on. So,
Yeah, awesome. And we can work around schedules and stuff.
yeah. I mean, Thursday nights are actually really good for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Nine times out of 10, I'm free.
Sounds good.
So,
So, anybody wants to bother Ash? Bother him on Thursday night.
Yell at him
Yes.
for all the cards.
His email address is
no.
I can't believe you made quick cast creatures. You can't have quick cast.
Oh man, those things rock. I'm so happy with quick X creatures. I'm also
I
happy
think,
with
I
quick
think a
range
lot of
attacks.
people at first glance miss those too. And they're like, these creatures are no
yeah.
good because
Why
they
do
go
they
away.
have
I'm like,
dissipate?
but you can cast 2 in a turn, or cast 1 in melee.
Or moving
That's
dash
why
one.
it's so good. The quick cast melee.
No, I'm definitely
That's
the
force master.
recovery stage of the initial press of my Force Master and Arena or an Academy is going to be double Tomb Guardian. I mean, it's going to be so good.
I'm a fan of Tomb Guardian.
You could Tomb Guardian with the Kessler Ranger. Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, if you wanted to spend 3 spell points on Kessler.
I think you're just gonna do it with the Eye Vita Jet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think
That's
it's
a fun
so
one.
good.
Another good option.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite card out of that set is Eye of Vita Chat.
I can see why.
Every time I build a book, I'm like, yeah, 3 of these have to go in.
You have to
You're-
deal with it. Like,
You're
seriously.
that guy.
I am that guy.
I
And I play
stopped-
Tomb Guardians to protect them.
That's what Torgo's
That's
for.
why Mageddon kills you.
That's what Torgo's Swooping Shrek is for.
Yeah, actually, that is. That's exactly what it's for. Screw your eyes!
No, like, seriously, like, Shark, like, you, like, killed me in every way possible. I was like, what if I did the sneaky thing? No. You just
Torgo smash.
smashed it.
Isn't that what
was
you
our
named
favorite
that book?
refrain.
I think it is the
Was
name
that?
of the book.
Oh, yeah.
Torgo Smash?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the name of the book I made.
Nice.
Alright, we're reaching about an hour, so I'm going to cut the
Yeah,
video
we're
here.
officially done.
So, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having me on.
It's
It's
good
always a
times.
pleasure, man. Always a
Good
pleasure.
times.
Cool.
Bye, guys.